This is day 1531 of the Arukh HaShulchan. Today we're doing your idea. Simei Saik Zayin Sif Chav Hey to Sif Lamed Gimel. Chafek, now we're going to begin Mishkolim Be'echel B'Adam Mishmir Al-Kilayim. First, Rosh Chodesh Adar, the pronouncements go out about Kilayim. Reish Meir Kotten Tam B'Chol Moed Yotzim Kilayim. In Meir Kotten it says that on Chol Moed they go out on the Kilayim. Zeloshon Rambam Pesach Perek Beis, this is what the Rambam says. Be'echel B'Adam Mishmir Al-Kilayim. First, they have already make pronouncements on the Kilayim. Chotem Yotzei Ginoso. Each person go out here to his garden with his Shladayu and his field and Menaki with some Kilayim and cleanse it of Kilayim. Two bow. And on the 15th day, Yotzim Shluchei Beis and Livdok. The messenger, the agents are basically allowed to check. Rishoni Okrim Mashlichin. Once upon a time, they used to uproot the kilayim and toss it. For you, Ba'alabatim Smechin, the Ba'alabatim rejoice, Shemnaklim, they're still saying that their fields are being cleansed for them. You see, Shemafkin, it's called Sadashmil Matsubo Kilayim. So they made a takona that they should make hefker the entire film which claim is found. If they find 1/24 of a different species. If that's 1/24, they shouldn't touch it. So and they could basically come back on the Chol to see the later produce, what came out. Kilayim which has budded, you don't leave it around. They go immediately, and they make the entire field hefker. If has 1/24 Akan Lashon. Magmar Mavor for the Gemara because it's clear that Betvua Bechira Yotzim Ba'adar for the earlier growing grain you go on Adar, but Fela and for later growing grain Betvua Shnis Achra it's delayed. Yotzim Pesach go on Chol Pesach Chol Who Shadain Lo Notzu. This is if the Kilayim has not yet budded. I mean, it's a Kilayim, but if the Kilayim has budded. Ain't says my Kabur, it doesn't have a set time. Lo Arab Lo Cholamoid. El Afa even previously the take of Shaloin. She needs to as long as you see that you see that budded. Yotzim Shluchei Basin basically age Guam Afkina Soda and they make the field hefker. I'm around sort of Ashken. I'm also learned this way. Back to here, Pasuk came to the Khan, Bebacher, Bechulim Shunshayim Buchain. He Paskins like the setup, which sets up this crazy story about the earlier and later maturations. Because Yushami learns that Ayin Sham, Ba'afil Perish Acher, and there, and then in Moed Kotten, in Yushami, there's a different Perish in Ophel. Another Perish, I guess. You doubt. Chovav. Yesh meaning bezroim sheyeh mina echad nifrad l'tzoros arbei. There are certain species in seeds where a certain type can have many different forms. They shinu makomos because a different place which grows for avoda and the cultivation. Show them ma'aretz in which they cultivate the ground. Ad shiur k'sheimin, it looks like two species. Abi shein dom even though they look similar to each other. I'm sorry, Babi Shein Domin Zelzeh, even though they're not similar to each other. However, in Min Echot, since they're one species, and claims not climb each other. In seeds, there are two types which are similar to each other. They both seem to be the same form. Since they're two species, they're the same set, they're also with each other. Ketzad, how so? Galim, whatever they are. Voshim Moshe Soda, Bakrishim Krishe Soda, Bakusbarim Kusbar Horib, Bakhadim Chadam Mitzi, Vidlas of Mitzis in Blas or Muta. For him, Blas Muta, he chooses to explain, he mars bitter Achimakas until it is sweetened in coal. Shuei for Cham or remnants is technically hot ashes. Aina claims that none of these claim with each other. Chabsayim, Bechain Chitim Azunin, Vumin Chita Raw, which is a bad type of wheat. Which is different in its appearance. It's called Zuni, like a prostitute. Which deviated from the proper narrow path. And barley with oats, Kuzmin and spelled Zeshkorin, Argas ima Shifin, together with rye, Shkorin Korin, Puli ima Sapir, beans with whatever sapir is, Shkorin Hilsenfrucht, Praktim with the Fech, whatever that is. Dakim, which are thin seeds, meaning from the legume family. Shagar Garb, Aglim Banim, they have seeds which are round and white. Upul Lavin Yeshuas and white pool with beans. Fumin Pul Shim Shasheh Asalev. Shuas is the type of bean which today is the term for green bean, which causes the heart to rejoice. The kishim lavafone squash with lettuce. They which is not with lettuce. Squash with cucumbers. These are the avatichim, not watermelon. But kruvin to tour. For me, kruv shala love katanim. Truv is the type of cabbage. Kruv is a cabbage. Truv is the type of cabbage that has small the leaves. Vatranim alonim. Beets with lonim moves. That mean. Kruv acher, it's a different type of cabbage. We don't know any of these species. Anything which we link to each other, which is not kilayim for each other, it's because it's the same species. They look different. Avsim and a fusim, who means radish with strange radishes. Chayim a lavson, a mustard with lavson, and glass. You might see the last means in Greek gourds with Egyptian gourds, or in glass and mutar, or the ashes gourd. Even though they're similar to each other, they climb with each other. And so too in the tree. When there are two species which are similar, ba'alin in the leaves or the fruit, since there are two species after all, no chachmes, they are kilaim. So the opposite. There are seeds and trees, even though they are by nature two different species. However, since the leaves are very similar to each other, or pears, or the fruit is very similar, so they look like two variations of the same species. There's no concern with each other. That's how they never necessarily give scientific definitions, but everything goes based on what it looks like. Again, Rabbi Shem Dom is the same. They're not similar to each other. Hope you'll vehem minachos is one species. Then claims that in seeds there are two species similar to each other. And they look very similar. I went back. Did I go back? Yeah, sorry, I went back. I'm sorry, it's Middle Chav Zayin. I went back to Chav Vav. Sorry. Whoops, that was a mistake. I was up to Kohen. God, get away here. Abi Shlem is also towards the end of Chav Zayin. Abi Shlem is the same though they're similar to each other. And climbs climb each other. Chen be Elon. Shesh nemin each them is about pears. So the trees we have two species which similar to in leaves or in fruit. However, each they minim in vicinity to minim. No, I did this as well. I messed up badly. I don't know why I did this tonight, and I got distracted. I was in the middle of Chav Ches. Let's start in Chav Ches again. But you learn us that so the opposite. There are seeds and trees. Even though there are two species by nature, since the leaves are this is similar leaves that great similarity. Or pears or the fruit is similar to each other. So look at two variations of the same species. They're not considered to be climb with each other. Ketzat is what actually we got up to. However, radishes with turnips. They're not climbing with each other because they look the same. Odasa, Rival Bear, Gimel, Hem Kilayim, according to Rival Dark Climb. But Levis Ima Nafos, whatever Nafos is, any climbs, episode not climb. Then Charlene showed me Dimion Gomer because the leaves look absolutely similar. I was saying of us, but radishes with Nafos. Even though the leaves are similar to each other. If I pay them the pay and the fruit is like the fruit, I really climb over time. Since the taste of fruits is very different between the two of them. So do anything similar. See there, because it seems like the principles contradict each other. Although in the end, somehow they don't. We weren't exactly clear back then. The distance between two different species is equal by everything. Obviously, we're not talking about Kilei Kerem. Kamosh Shishani Besoper base Tvua mi Tvua grain and grain. Archaga base rova. The distance is a base rova. Yerk B'Yerk Shisha Tvachim. Vegetable 6 Tvachim. But Tvua B'Yerk grain and vegetables Yerk. But Tvua and vegetables and grain. Ra base rova. That's the measures. Zoshan Ram Perkim with the entire Shulchan Sita Zayin. Kama Machikim. How much we this is much time in the way. It's in two types of seeds. Kilaim Zem. Today, she moved on so they were separate from each other. I'm near she's darabur vuvia, but it looks like they're mixed together, plant mixed together. Harezos, it's forbidden. Shuim Rami Yesh Bachakas, there are many measures in this distancing. Hakel, if he gave I saw that on these rats, based on the size of the field which is planted. If he gave Ha'alim Bishilu, a kind of yoinkis, and based on the amount of leaves and the distance at which it derives nourishment. Ketzad also, so they show us that mean tvua, a serious plant type of grain. Uvikish leaves rea betzida. My plant next to mean tvua cheres, as a different type of grain. We saw that cheres in another field. Machik ben base rova, you have to between the two of them. A base reva. Vuketzer amos chomesh amal, eser amos chomesh amal meruba. It's like 10.2 amos at 10.2 amos squared. Upayment answer that says whether in the middle, whether on the side. There's no isn't that kind of gap between them. Also, it's been in a lake here. You know, until we have that proximity, which we know from Hilchos Kilei of 6 tvachim. Lamed Hoysa says if it feels planted with vegetables. Occasionally, so but either study a plant next to another, a different vegetable patch. I feel glass, even if one is a gourd. Marchib ben b'shes those the difference between two fields is the gap between two fields should be shishat tvachim 6 by 6 tvachim. Meruba squared. Bein outside, bein outside. What's inside? What's the middle? Upachas mishir zeh. Less than the shield is also very lucky. Okay, Makas. However, you craving mitzvah tefach till they're within a tefach of each other. Ice achas mishneh so the zgor two of one of them is planted on grain. Vashnil shebetzida yelk last one next to it with vegetables or squashes. Marchik mi b'neim. This is between them base reva. But medvar moim is this true. Shetor lachika shumaleu. This is by these measures. Ben shtei sades between two fields. Avim is today zgor yer, but if it's field one with fields planted with vegetables. The right cell is where it's either you want to plant next to it. Sure, shel yerek mi minacher. A different species of vegetables. Dial asos bein. I saw the man. I sure tell him echad. It's enough to make one furrow. A roko shishim even 6 tvachim long. V'rochvo k'omko as and its width like its depth. Okay, lamed off. Haisa sadeu zua to if you feel planted with grain. But let's say so sure going to plant a row of vegetables in it. I feel sure should live even a row of gourds. Shalim shalom arukim mistapchim which have long and complex leaves. This is 6 tvachim. If the leaves of the gourd extend, and they got involved with the grain, the stop got entangled together. You have to uproot the grain which is in front of the pumpkin, the squash, only to the point that the leaves don't get mixed in. Means tell them echad. If you have one row of one type, another row of another type, so you have to have one tell him 6 tvachim between the two of them. Lamed bet Akon Shon Ram and quote from the Rambam. Lamed beis biyad vorim and expressions. Nigas shlosh tvachim. The nourishment of vegetable of grain is 3 tvachim. Okay, therefore, ain't no like I don't get makas like you craving zelazeh, but shisha tvachim until they're within 6 tvachim each other. Does mistalvi because again the nourishments mix. As opposed to when the distance 6 tvachim. Me, however, hekel on account of should be recognized, noted. They made a greater distancing of the base reva square. Says base reva, grain and grain is a different species. A grain with grain of different species is a reva. The not surrounded on all 4 sides. The wheat should not surround the barley. From all 4 sides. A person who's imprisoned in a prison. It's got to be open on one side. Because the Rash and the Rabbanu write the same thing. The Rama leads us out. Yeshish because the station got coming also came. Then he also means this. Because since he says because she's what he wanted to plant next to it. Masha lo ben not in the middle. But Taimar was time she because the payment that's a payment side. Say the same thing, middle or other side. The linear, I think the Ramos relation ain't okay halacha. There's not the halacha. Because later on it says Abisir boy come Rabbi Yossi. Abisir asked for Rabbi Yossi. Canaan or mean because Simunia ain't them talking mean echad. Do we say that in because by Simunia? Because you can only plant one species, and first I'm talking Perusha. Ram explains this is the issue. That be zero dachi Ladin said right directions halacha. Zeh shamar kino nomi. That's what he said. This is the way we say it. Have a komodim kain tomar. No, sorry. He said that Zeh shamar kain tomar. Have a komodim kain tomar because if not you will say the nimtza not you will say nimtza shisham lo yizrak minacha bilvad. Therefore, they're the only plant plant species. Nation Slavi. I mean chitim because around it there's planted wheat. Ach or minacher another species. V'zein for a clout. That's the initial. That's we would have thought. That's a rejected. But dachil achdina. This din is pushed away. Now I make him a chain thing. So let's so do you want to plant in the field a different vegetable? You have this is based over. Little bit ever come away. We don't know at what proximity you get monks. Really, it seems to me the gamba person should talk me like here too. If it's less than 12, you don't come Marcus. But I should talking to it's enough to have a gap of 3.5. Shenika sayek ledaito coin ramam. The vegetable only derives the benefit. Rachatzi tefach. Only have to have much costing biark. Without coming and that's between field and field. Here's that between field and field. That's why here. You need a big recognition. If you want to plant in that same field, sure, a row of vegetables. I feel it should ruin even its gourds, shining splashing with the expansive leaves. Only 6 fucking gap. It's got to be less than 3.5 tvachim. Some of the leaves got mixed together. You have to uproot from the grain, the produce, which is in front of the gourd or whatever, or the vegetable. That's when you have grain and vegetables in the same field. There's 2 types of grain in the same field. 2 types of vegetables. They only have to have one farm between the 2 of them. Philopi Shuro, it doesn't say the Shuro, I thought it was 6 tvachim. So he says, no, if you really do Arba tvachim, it's 4 tvachim. Shami Omer Mishnah, the Gimel Tlamishal Tfiach, says about 3 tlamim Tfiach, Ose Shtei Amos, make 2 amos, say 2 amos. Zeu Shlosha Tlamim, that's 3 furrows. Then Yud Beis Pachim, that's 12 tvachim. Then he said, tell him Arba tvachim. So furrow is 4 tvachim. And we'll stop here for today.